Would you consider 4 million to be a big number or a small number? In the United States, that is the estimated number of innocent companion animals that are euthanized each year. Today I want to talk about the overpopulation of companion animals, such as dogs and cats, and hopefully to persuade you on the importance of spaying and neutering as a way to reduce this number. So I have been a volunteer in animal rescue for 11 years, and in that time I have firsthand experienced the heartbreaking crisis of overpet population we face today. Pet overpopulation not only affects the rescues and shelters involved, but it also affects county tax dollars and people who enjoy public recreation such as city parks, where they not only run into the chance of running into a homeless animal, but sometimes the outcome is a dog bite or even a dog attack. So today I will be discussing the problem we face as a result of the overpopulation of companion animals. I will also discuss the cause of this problem, which includes things like lack of education, as well as an effective solution to the problem at hand, which is to spay and neuter our pets. So first I would like to begin by addressing the problem at hand. We are facing a serious problem of pet overpopulation, and as a result, innocent companion animals, such as dogs and cats, are being euthanized to make room for the influx of new ones entering shelters every day. Shelters and rescues are inundated with homeless pets in need of adoption. Typically in shelters, they are held for 5 business days, and if they are not adopted or placed into rescues at the end of those 5 short days, they are euthanized. And in rescues, volunteers are stretched thin and resources run out long before the cat or dog has a chance to be adopted, causing the rescues to go into the red financially. Some areas are worse than others, like impoverished or rural areas of California unfortunately suffer the most. So according to the Social Compassion and Legislation in the Humane Society of the United States, it is estimated that 6 to 8 million dogs and cats enter the shelters each year, with 3 to 4 million of those that enter sadly are destroyed in the United States. And according to the Central Valley Coalition for Animals, nearly 27,000 of that 3 to 4 million come from the Central Valley alone. And in 2010, 67% of all dogs and cats that entered shelters into the Central Valley were euthanized. So this not only affects the rescues and shelters involved, but it also affects the community as a whole. According to the Humane Society of the United States, it costs, on average, $300 of tax money to catch, shelter, euthanize, and dispose of each homeless animal. Not to mention the risk it puts on human health by the danger of transmittable diseases like rabies from dog bites by stray dogs. So by ignoring the overpopulation of companion animals, it's almost as if we're taking part in a jury who sentences the death penalty to millions of innocent animals each year. So now that I have covered what is said to be the problem at hand, let me go over what I believe to be the cause of this problem. The primary cause of this problem is the lack of education and emphasis put into spaying and neutering our pets. Too many times I've heard statements like, when a female dog has a litter, they make better pets. Or my personal favorite, I want our children to experience birth and to learn how to care for those babies. So the thought that runs through my head when I hear statements like this is, where are these people getting their facts? There are no such biological facts to back up either of these statements. So without stopping the births of these companion animals, the ratio of space and funding available to care for them compared to the amount that are entering the shelters is immensely unbalanced. And as you can see in this chart here, one female cat is responsible for 52 kittens produced within a 16-month period. So some other potential causes of this crisis include things like families sometimes find themselves unable to care for their pets from like a loss of a job or the foreclosure of the housing market we were facing. And sadly, sometimes people decide They just don't want Fido anymore because he's no longer that cute, fuzzy puppy he once was. And the fact remains that those other potential causes only make up a small portion of the crisis we are facing with overpopulation today. So I have explained what I believe to be the cause of the problem at hand, but let me introduce an effective solution. So we cannot possibly begin to adopt our way out of this pet crisis. The only possible solution is to stop the birth before they begin. And on a small level, as pet guardians, we need to recognize the importance of spaying-neutering our own pets within our families, as well as spreading the word to family and friends and helping them to see the importance of spaying-neutering their dogs and cats that are in their families. And even if our pets never leave our homes, accidents can happen. Male dogs can sense when a female dog goes into heat, and they have been known to break through barriers like backyard fencing just to get to them. And on a larger scale, more programs and funding needs to be in effect to assist to make sure families who live in rural and impoverished areas have access to veterinary clinics and are willing to adjust the cost on their end with things like mobile vet clinics or vouchers to certain offices that will perform the procedure at a reduced cost. And even on a bigger level, when a bill is up for voting to pass for such programs, we need to be out there to support it. And there are other entities in place to help solve this overpopulation crisis, like the rescues, shelters, super adoption events, and organizations like Pet Finder that help get needed publicity for adoptable animals. And while the services and organizations that I have mentioned are extremely crucial to provide care and assistance in finding loving homes for the ones we already have, we simply cannot possibly adopt our way out of this crisis. We need to stop it before it begins. So today I have covered the problem of overpopulation of companion animals we face today, and what I believe to be the cause of this, as well as an effective solution how we can begin to solve this crisis. So I hope this has helped to persuade you about the importance of spaying-neutering your furry family member as a way to do your part in controlling the overpopulation crisis. In my 11 years as a volunteer, I cannot count the number of heartbreaking situations that I have encountered because of this overpopulation that we're facing now, such as when my rescue sends me into a shelter and they say, pick these 2 specific dogs, and at the same time, I have to tell 50 faces, I'm sorry, I can't help you today. It not only breaks my heart, but it destroys it. And we need to remember that whether or not a person is an animal lover, we as a community are all affected by this crisis. And as Martin Luther King Jr. once said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And what matters to me is that one day, the shocking figure of 4 million becomes a thing of the past.